it going? Today we're going to be analyzing a game played with me and Soap on a team. These were all my ideas, keeping pressure on the corner pockets, and bishop takes bishop was not the right move here. This variation requires a lot of accuracy. The correct move is to move the queen over here, so you have access to this diagonal. So I think there are two tries. One is to attack the queen. Here, do this one. Ah, it's my cat bumping my hand. I see you do that. Here you take, and you have a nice mate threat. So here, of course, you take. And maintaining the mate threat, you have this one and that one. So for example, if that, you just take and take, do for mate that way. So you can't move the knight. Instead, I think this is the best try, forcing this one. And then you are rook up. I think you can just attack this way and put pressure on the corner pocket. I don't really see the compensation here, so I think this is a winning continuation. I think a better try than pushing the pawn is to just snip off that bishop. So if we do this, then yellow takes, green takes, and as red you have to maintain pressure. So you move back, take, and take, and it seems kind of equalish. Here you have to be very precise. Bishop, to put pressure on that knight. And as green, you're looking here is this continuation that will lead to checkmate. So normally as red, I was thinking this would be a good idea, but actually you really just have to account for that bishop takes with check. And here, I mean, you can move the queen to stay active. Of course, there you win back the knight. And the idea here is to just put a ton of pressure on blue's corner pocket with the knight and the bishop. And I guess green can look for some checks. So I'm guessing that is probably the best move here. Of course, the bishop can always defend. So I think here you push the pawn. And you want to look for more checks. So here it's very, because you, yeah, hold on a sec. That'd be the right continuation. Because here you know you're going to get that check in. So I think, let's see here. You get the check in, you can move down, and you can always disrupt for a queen capture that way. So yes, very accurate bishop move right here. So as you can see, you have to play this line very sharply for it to be efficacious for red-yellow. If you don't play with the precision, then blue-green can definitely get a very strong attack. And this one saves the knight, but it allows for a very, very potent attack on blue. And I think because the queen is not here, you can probably move the queen back, maybe to this post, observing that, and observing this one. So yeah, you just put a lot of pressure on that corner pocket, maintain the pressure, and this is how you play this opening. Yeah, it's a very, very tricky line. Um, Requires a ton of precision. Queen there, not the move. Bishop takes, not the move. I didn't see it in game because I haven't looked at this line yet, but definitely that this is the only way to move forwards with this line. Um, no other way around it. And just kind of a little side note, not super important. What a dumb line. This line is trash. They had easy moves. That means the line is trash. Such a dumb line. The whole thing is bad. I'll play this as blue green, 10 out of 10. Yeah. Not really. It just requires very precise play. Not to, not to like make soap look bad or anything here. That's not the intention. Just want to point out that I think it's important to really consider a line in full detail before jumping to conclusions about a line. Like, for example, if you're more of a positional player, this line might not look that strong. I'm guessing Jay Crossover might be a fan of this line. Um, just because it doesn't fit your intuition, just because a line doesn't really fit your intuition of how you think a game should be played, doesn't necessarily mean the line is always bad, right? Like I think I showed here, and I mean, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I showed here that with very precise play, this line is actually very strong for red yellow, right? And maybe there are other ways of playing this line that are better. I don't know, maybe pawn push is a better plan than the hyper aggressive queens out attacking the corner pockets. Maybe that's the case, but maybe not. You never really know. So just this is just something that I've seen a lot in not only chess players, because I mean chess, it's like a very competitive thing, right? I get it. But just kind of people, just kind of like life in general. People, I think, tend to jump to conclusions about what's good and bad, not necessarily based on the actual careful study and merit of whether something is good or bad, but just based on whether it has worked for them in the past or not. But you see, it's like what works for you in the past, like that's just what works for you in the past. It's not necessarily a measure of the actual efficacy of that line as a whole in its entirety, right? Like you can say whatever you want about there only being one correct way to play chess. You can say whatever you want about there only being one good move, and if it's not a good move, it doesn't work. You can never get around the fact that we are human beings and that even the top level chess players in two-player chess, for example, have entirely different styles. Carlsen, Nakamura, entirely different styles. Bobby Fischer, Capablanca, entirely different styles. These were some of the best players in the world. Alpha Zero, completely different style, right? Like, whatever we think is best is always going to be best through the lens of our style, our play style, right? That's, I think, what makes chess such a beautiful thing. Is it's just not about, yeah, there are technically, theoretically, there is a best line, there is a best move, right? But that line will always be interpreted through the limitations of what makes us human. And I think that's actually what makes chess a beautiful game. It's not that it's not that there's one correct way and that's the only way. There is technically, but as humans, we will never achieve that because we are not gods. So I think it's important to be open minded two different ways of playing. I know that I have what Icy Stone would call a hyper aggressive play style, right? Like that's just kind of my style in life in general. Like I try to be decisive about things. I like to go for it. You know, not everybody's that way, right? And I get it. That's fun. And my style has its own strengths and weaknesses. I'm not going to say my style is the best. I think it's important to remember that every style has its strengths and weaknesses, and you can't say that however you do something is necessarily the best way, because as humans we are technically flawed. Even when it comes to a game like chess, where theoretically there is only one best move, right? Because that theory is so beyond our minds to comprehend. Maybe for Alpha Zero, it's comprehensible, but that theory is so beyond our minds to comprehend that we must admit that it's not a game of the best play, but a game between human beings. Okay, all right. I just had to share that. Just my little philosophical contribution to the discussion. I hope you liked the video, and I will catch you next time. Peace out.